To write any code, go to the developer console, file, new Apex class. Let's say demo class. I'm not doing anything. So the syntax is well known, right? Public class, demo class. What is public here? What is public?
The class can be visible to anyone.
No, technically, what is public? Public is an access
identifier. Access identifier. Yeah.
Access identifiers are private,
public protected,
and
default,
global.
Yeah.
So if you say that public, protected, and all, let's say. Private, protected, and public and global. So if it is, let's talk about public. Public means within the organization. Within the organization in the sense, anyone in the system of BA40, BA50, in the system of BA50 can able to access this class if it is a public, okay? Can able to class with this class using public. Global means, let's say, I am a third-party system connecting from outside of BA50, let's say Oracle, SQL, or other systems straight away, like EBS systems or a data center, data sync. So if I'm connecting from other system, it's an integration, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an integration. Whenever you are exposing your classes as outside of your organization, outside of BA50 environment, that time you need to expose your classes as global, which can be accessible from everywhere, Okay. The other thing, what is difference? What is private and what is protected? What is private and what is protected? See, let's say I have a class, I have a method like a private void test. This is my method. Let's assume that this is my method. And I have a class saying that class child1. This is my another inner class. If I want to access my test method inside my child, which is not allowed because it is a private and which is only accessible by its class members, not outside of the class, right? Clear? But if I want to expose this private method, even child class can able to access that private method because it is a demo class. The child is a member for a demo class which can be accessible. The private can be accessible within child. If I want to say that even child should not be accessible, the method which I define, only the class and its primary members like other methods can only access, then we need to define this as a protected, which will protect from the child class event. Even child class will not gonna get an access for this method. Okay? Clear, Hemant?
Yes, Deepak. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what is difference between the constructor and a method?
Okay.
What is difference between constructor and a method? Let's say I'm writing a constructor, So this is my constructor 1, public. This is my. So now tell me, are both are constructors? Is two things. Both are constructors or it's different?
It's different. One has a return type, one doesn't have the return type.
But name is same, right? Demo class,
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
So why you are saying this is, which one is constructor then?
The second one, yeah.
Why second one?
Constructors won't have return types, right?
Exactly. So the first thing here is, so the definition for constructor, name of the constructor should be same as class name, same as class name, and next one, it shouldn't be a static, it shouldn't be a static in signature. What is signature? This is called signature, or you can also say the definition, right? So you should not use a keyword called static. You should not use that static. And other thing, it should not have return type. It shouldn't have return type. A constructor can be, it can be unified by keeping input parameters and a sequence follow. Let's say I'm defining another constructor, let's say public, why to write again and again, let's say copy. Now I can define another constructor like this, which is duplicated now, right? Demo class, there is no uniqueness. If I want uniqueness, I can say yes. Can I define another constructor like this? Can I define another constructor like this? Here the string is a parameter, here is an integer is a parameter. String is, yes. Can I define like this?
Yes.
Shilpa, Sharon, you were so silent. Angry at me because I connected late.
No, I am actually sleepy.
Okay. Demo class string s and integer ss. Now this is unique or duplicated?
Unique.
So the only when you say unique, it means that all we need to look into the parameters of what we are inputting. Here I am inputting string. Yes, this is different. This is integer. This is integer comma string. This is string comma integer. The sequence of parameters and the number of parameters will make the class, I mean the constructor, need to be unique. And all we are discussing about constructor, why we need a constructor first of all. What constructor will gonna help us? How constructor will help in our OOPS concepts?
To initialize the parameters, or if you want some work to be done at object creation, we will do the code in constructors.
Okay. Actually, you answered, but you didn't point at it. Constructor helps you to create an object for a class. That's the primary usage of a constructor. You can only create object for a class using constructor. Let's say, what is the syntax to create a class? I mean, object. What is the syntax?
New
syntax.
Class.
Syntax. You need to give the definition and then initialization, right?
Yeah, a demo class.
Okay, class name.
Class name.
Object.
Object name. Object name.
Okay.
Yeah. Is equal to
new.
Constructor.
Exactly.
Like calling the
constructor. But we read class name, object, new class name. This is what we read in the books, right?
Yes.
But this is not a class name, this is a constructor. Constructors looks like a class, looks like a class name. So we are thinking that we are using class name. No. We are using a constructor to create an object for a class. That's the first primary usage of a constructor. The time you create an object, then it will exist. Let me ask you this one, Hemant, for you. What is static and non-static blocks?
Okay. Static block, it's a space in memory where at the time of when executing the program, so all the static variables and the static methods will be loaded into static space.
Okay.
And at the time of object creation, all the non-static methods and the non-static variables will be loaded to non-static space in a heap.
My question, hope you didn't get it. I'm asking SIB and IIBs. Static instance initialization block, instance initialization block.
No, I think.
Okay. We have a unnamed blocks, which is also known as unnamed block. Which is also known as unnamed block. Let's say I just open and close the bracket. Is this fine to do this? Just a open and close the brackets is allowed in the system?
Yes. Yeah.
System dot debug demo class system dot debug IIB. Now, if I call my string, if I call my method, if I create an object, what is the output now? Let's say I'm creating, to create an object, all you need to go to the debug, execute anonymous window, or if you are using a Windows machine, the shortcut is Control E. If you are using a Mac system, it is Command E. Okay?
Okay.
For Windows, it is Control E. For Mac, it is Command E. So now demo class dot obj equal to new. Here constructor we have is demo class. Now if I execute, what is the output, Hemant?
It's a demo class, like star demo class.
Seriously? That's it? This will execute if I execute a constructor.
No. System dot debug, right? Plus constructor loaded. That one.
Okay, 1 minute. It went messy. It just went up. Control yes. Demo class obj equal to new demo class. So you are saying that constructor will load, right?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. No other statements will come. But actually, all the 3 statements will execute now. Let's say here if I keep demo class, now you can see I'm executing it. Okay.
Okay.
Debug only. IIB is loaded first. First, which one is loaded? Not a constructor. IIB is loaded. Okay. And then demo class is loaded. So IIB is calling demo class, and then demo class is finally constructor loaded. I'll give another interesting thing. If I say demo class obj equal to new demo class, you have to explain me what happening here. I'm executing now. Now you can see there are maximum stack depth reach. Why we are getting this error now? I didn't done anything, right? I just created one more object. That's it, right? See.
Okay, I think it's recursion.
Recursion. Why recursion is happening? The question is that why recursion is happening.
So every time like you are calling constructor, it is calling that IIB block.
Exactly.
So every time.
Whenever you are creating any new object in the system for the first time, the IIBs will be executed.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter that we need to keep our logics within the constructor. It really doesn't matter. You can keep, let's say I have a constructor. Let me do like this. So we need to write a common logic between all constructors, but there are sometimes user will pass some data, user will not pass some data. Sometimes he can pass direct default constructor. Sometimes he need to call a queried, parameterizer constructor. But still, whatever I call, I need to execute this IAB block. Okay. piece of code. I need to execute some piece of code. What we are doing, we are creating a new method and we are calling that method in the constructor, so that we are avoiding rewriting of a code, we are reutilizing, right?
Yes.
But using IIBs, you can able to do that. But we are not using this. IIBs is actually meant for this. If the constructor is executed, if I want to initialize the generalizer logic for every constructor or object creation, then IIB is the place where you can do. It's a easy and it's a straightforward. So there is no, you don't want to follow the cohesiveness and nothing. You just straight away you can follow your, I mean, you got it right what I'm saying, Saranya. IABS is a common logic
Yes,
which will execute for every object creations. Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually came from Java. Again, it's a very strong concept in Java. When we are writing for a servlets and Hibernate, IABs or SIBs will play a very good role. If if the development is happening with a strategy design principle. Now let me ask you this: system.debug. I am static. So static is something like only static is a keyword. That's it. Static. Now tell me how many times it will execute. What is the output statement now? What's the output statement? Whenever class loads, which one will load, Hemant?
Static.
So static will load for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Once static is loaded, then
Object is getting like you are calling constructor, so IAB block will be called.
IAB block will be called, and then demo class, and then final statement is this one, right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
and the final statement is constructor, right?
final statement, yeah, constructor, I missed it. Final statement is constructor.
Yeah.
So now we are missing one more thing. Again, we need to invoke this class using object only, right?
Yes.
So these statement of lines also will come in place. Executed. I am static, IB, demo class, constructor loaded, and then constructor. This is loading because I am calling my constructor within the static block.
Static.
So I am getting these three statements. Once done, now in the system I am creating like the class what I am called is an object again. So these three statements are coming from here. Clear?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So now you can able to implement your IABs and SIBs in your development, Hemant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is the restriction that we are not supposed to do in a constructor? It could be any programming language in OOPS concepts, but there is a limitation. What is that limitation that you can't do in a constructor where you can able to perform that in a method? You can't perform a DML operations. You can't perform a DML operations inside constructor. You can't do update, insert, delete records from a database through a constructor. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes, Deepak.
Yeah. You should not. Your system will not allow you to do that. It throws an error. And what is the maximum heap size in Salesforce? What is the maximum heap size in Salesforce? We got an error before, right?
Can't be more than 3 or something.
Huh? 1001.
1001. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see it properly. Yeah, 1000.
Okay. So what is method? What is return types then? What are return types? What are return types? Return types are nothing but your data types. Return types are nothing but a data types. Let's say how return types helps in our programming. Let's talk about real time. So there is a friend for me who is giving every day 50 rupees and 100 rupees whenever I ask. But I'm returning within the 2 days. That's fine. I'm getting and I'm giving it back, right? Whatever I'm getting in the other shape after doing some transformation. Might be I'm transferring in an account. Like finally, she is getting or he is getting from me the money back, right? So they don't have a loss. But let's say someone gave me money and I'm not returning, still I'm asking what you will do, what they will feel. They will not give the next time, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, they will not give the next time. When they will give an extra, what they will think, I'm giving so much to you, you are not giving anything. When it comes to the real life, if you are in a, I mean, relationship, when fight comes, we'll say, I do everything, but you don't do anything. Give and take policy. I do something, I'll do something, I need to get something back. So here, why we are writing methods in Salesforce or any I mean any classes is you just wanted to simplify your logics in a different modules, right? So I'm calling the methods. The expectation is that you transform the entire process and give me the final value. I don't need everything. Give me the final value after doing entire transformation or a business logic within you. So consider there is a method who you are doing like complex logic after passing a parameter. Let's say public void average. So I have a variable saying that integer list of integer values. So what is the average spelling? What is the average means? Integer result equal to 0. What is the average meaning? What is meant by average?
Like sum of all the values divided by number of values.
Exactly, that's the definition, right? Value, comma, values. What block is this, Hemant? It is JDK 1.8. From there it is started.
It's like for each. It's like for each.
It's a for each. It's a for each.
Yeah.
So what is meant by for each? Whatever the data type you are iterating, you need to mention as the data type and the variable name, colon your collection variable name. Here collection variable name is values, so values. Value is my integer, I mean just a variable integer. Inside what I need to do? Result.
I mean result plus equal to.
Y plus equal to?
I mean you should get all the values. I mean you should append everything.
We are summing it to the same variable, right?
Yes.
And what else we needed?
Return and
result equal to how to get my number of variables
divided by values dot size.
Exactly. Perfect. Values dot size. This is my return, right?
Yes.
Return. So now I pass my values, I'll get my output, right? But this is a void. It should be like integer or decimal. Which one? Decimal.
Yeah, might be. It can be.
It can be, right? So yes. How to call my object? Let's say here I have obj. Now I need to pass my list of integer values equal to new list of integer values dot add is a method to pass a values to a integer. Add is the value. Add is a method. Let's say 129 values dot add 300 values dot add 179. Now what is the average for this? We don't know for sure. We don't calculate this much. Obj dot average. Obj dot average of What we need to pass? We need to pass our collection values, right? Values. Clear?
Yes.
So if I execute now, what happens? Let's say for now I'm keeping as a void. Now system.debug result. And I was really expecting a question from you, Hemant, but you never asked me till now.
No. I mean, I got it. You are giving directly result equal to and written over there.
Okay, no, not that one. I was expecting the other question. Fine, I'll only raise that question. Okay, I'm
Okay.
executing. So in system.debug, this is fine. 202 is my average. Now what I will do with 202? I'm displaying directly in the console debug statement, right?
Yes.
How I can utilize this in my programming? Let's say if it is greater than 200, my condition is that here I need to perform some logic in a way that if average is greater than 200, send email to student to congratulate. If the average is greater than 200, send an email to a student to congratulate. I'm calling, but it is taking my values, but it's just eating up. It is not giving anything to me. You can always say something. I'll write a if condition here. You can also say that I'll write a if condition here, and then I'll do my send email logic within the if condition, which is also fine. But when it comes to the modularized development, it is not a right way to do. It is not a right way to do. You should have a particular. This is one type of calculation will happen in one method. If something sending email is not a same action, it's a different action. You should have a different method for this, so that whenever I have a demand to send an email, I can directly call a method instead of executing my average and then going inside, right?
Yes.
Clear? So what we
Yes.
can do, if we need that value back, all you need to have a return here, decimal, and I'll say return. So here, instead of just keeping like this, you can store your value in result. Now what happened? The return type for this object is what data type? The return type for this method is decimal only. So you are assigning it to decimal back, yes or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Now you have a result statement. Now you have a result statement where you can able to check if the result is greater than 200, then congratulate. If the result is less than 200, then send a warning email. So now you can able to do, right? Fine,
Yes.
Charanya?
Yeah.
So execute. See, system.println we are using debug. What about read lines? Scanner F.
Sorry.
Scanner. So we are printing from here. How to do a scan then? Scan in the sense inputting from a console.
Okay, it's like you should write the. I mean, take scanner class.
Do we have? I mean, in Java you have, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But in Salesforce,
Actually,
unfortunately, we don't have any scanner classes. I mean, there is no user inputs. All you need to pick up a data from a objects. That's it.
okay. Yeah.
If you need a scanner, then you need to use Visual Force pages. That's it. So there is no. We have only debug statement. We do not have a read statement from a consoles.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Clear? And what is difference between, okay, now I'm calling a method, demo class, I'm calling a demo class in this statement. Decimal r equal to 0, r equal to 0. Now this would be interesting if you can let me know r equal to Control X From here I'll understand R. So now I'm calling my this one demo class and I'm printing demo class value plus R. Now tell me what is the output statement if I call my method directly. If I call my method, what is my output statement? Public decimal. Okay, after return statement I should not have any statement ready. So here I'll do. So now tell me what is the outputs in statements. What is the output statements? Now tell me what is the output statements. Which statement will execute first? Let's forget I'm also removing this constructor which is not needed anymore. Let's say which statement will execute first. Hemant?
Yes, Deepak. Can you, run?
What is the output from
So,
these statements? Straight away. What is the output from these statements? I'm calling my average method.
okay.
Calling statement is average.
Yes, yeah, I want this one. Average method. So demo class values it will display the R value and
What is R value here? The question itself, what is R value?
R value is like 202. Yeah.
To not, okay, whatever the value you will be getting, that will be the R value. That's what you are mentioning, right? We'll check it out. Okay, sorry, executable I check. 202, perfect, you are right in this case. Demo class obj equal to new demo class obj dot. Now tell me what is the R value here.
Okay. It's 0 now.
Perfect. Now
This how that working.
now
So it's 202 now. Yeah.
why 202?
No, in the method calling like whatever we are calling with the object which we are creating in that main class. So it is this will reference that object.
Okay, you got the point then. Okay. So actually what happens, if you start executing on all non-static methods with same method, you will be having common values. You will be having whatever the value you outputted from other method, it will be continue for the next method. If you are executing your methods under same object, under one object. If you are reinitializing your class again, reinitializing your class using another object, it means that whatever the values we have, calculated before object, then let's say this is one object and this is another object. I calculated my average value using this object. Now I'm trying to create another object which is gonna reset another memory. At always, what happens? What happens in the system? If you understand, okay. So always this is a compiler, right? Whenever the program loads, we have a memory allocation will be taken care by a compiler. Compiler will load first. Here compiler will load first. Compiler will load first. Here compiler will load first. Okay. Okay, let's Compiler will load first. Two pack. Yeah. Compiler will load first, and then what compiler will load? It try to load all static variables under the heap now. Okay, stack, under stack. Whenever I'm creating a new object, whenever I'm initializing a new object, it creates obj1. If I create another object, it will create another obj. So obj, obj2 are the memory blocks for the non-static variables, right? So here I calculated my result value using one object. Now I'm trying to create another object. It means that it's gonna reset all variables. If I say obj equal to this dot obj, this dot so what happened? This refers always to the same object where I called from the first non-static method, where I called my non-static method. It will always point to the same object. So you don't want to worry about the second variables which will not gonna initialize. It points to the same object. It points to the same object. Here that is what we are doing. Even though we are initializing, this is object 2, but I'm calling my method using my normal object. I mean the same object. Clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is okay, now we always say, right, static members have only single memory. I mean, what is the difference between static members and non-static methods? Static methods can be accessible by its class name.
Class name. Yeah.
It cannot have static methods will always have a same value for entire execution. In entire execution, it will have only one memory space. So if it is a one memory space, whatever value is override, it always contains the same value. There is no multiple values. But static methods have a multiple values. I mean, non-static methods will have a multiple values with respect to the objects, the one we created. And another big difference is that static methods cannot utilize this statement inside static methods. Let's say if I have a static method, public static void t, this is method. I can't use a static method this keyword because static methods are called from class name, right? Static methods can be executed using a class name. So you never created object, but this refers to an instance of a class which is not created yet.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't use this statement inside static methods. You can't use a static method, this statement inside static methods. And you can't access your non-static variables, non-static global variables inside static method. Let's say if I'm trying to add r equal to 10. Now you can see error that variable cannot be declared. R variable is not declared. You can see error saying that variable does not exist. Because this is a non-static variable which you cannot access directly. All you can access saying that object, you need to create an object for a class. Demo class obj equal to new demo class. Or you can say, what you can do? Obj dot r equal to 10. Clear? Either you can pass your object as a argument. Either you can pass your object as a argument. You can pass your objects as arguments. You can do that. Yes, you can do that. You can pass your class as an argument, right? Class name.
Yes.
Can I have, so demo class is nothing but a data type for an object. That's it.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. Yes.
What we read? Just walk through me everything what we discussed.